it was an international embarrassment for them, and that's how it played out in the international press. And if you're the government of the day, it's just you have to go on the offensive, and they just kind of went after a business essentially that was started started and run by a huge number of Irish people. Didn't feel we'd done anything particularly wrong.
Yeah.
We'd contacted them for a full year saying, look, we're being approached by all these governments from around Europe. It would be great to meet.
To have the host the web summit.
And we could never get a meeting with the Irish government. We could go to Downing Street, we could sit down, we could go to the Elysee in Paris, and we could sit down, and we were dealing with all these pitches.
Why do you suppose that was? Was it?
It's. I don't know. I don't really know. And it happened, but in the end, it hasn't been a bad thing. I mean, there's more than 70 conferences have sprung up since we've left.
Absolutely.
Some of them are fantastic, like Inspire.
Of course, I appreciate that. But just to stick with to finish it,
sure.
I'm not going to dwell on it much longer, but there was a perception at the time, I think, that you, as a kind of, a whippersnapper at the time, came in saying, we want you to, give shuttle buses and Garda escorts and bus lanes and close down certain streets. And they said, what are you talking about? And then the perception was, you said, well, if you can't give us that, we're going to Portugal. And that was a narrative for some people.
Sure. I mean, that wasn't how, the BBC or The Guardian, who kind of read all the emails and reported it. But I fully understand some of your colleagues afterwards apologised. They came under huge pressure from government press secretaries because, Lisbon has benefited to the tune of...
Do you think that the journals were that easily led?
Well, that's just the way that's just the way it works. They weren't calling journalists in The Guardian or the BBC or the Telegraph who just only found in the government's that the government had just kind of fumbled.
So the British journalists got it right, and the Irish journalists got it wrong.
Life moves on. The issue was, and it's very, very simple if you think about it, about 40 companies that had first laid foot in Ireland because of the Web Summit had, like Qualtrics, for example, that's just off Grafton Street, had set up offices in Ireland, employing thousands and thousands of people. And Lisbon, over the last 12 months, has benefited to the tune of about £500 million in terms of spin-off from the Web Summit.
And did you go to Lisbon in a fit of pique, or because it was a better opportunity for you?
Were
you pissed off at the Irish government? Is that what happened?
No.